Genuinely feeling so sad today. I am about a week away from starting my period, and those are always really rough. I'll be in bed. If it's like last week or last month, cramps started getting pretty bad, and I was in bed a couple days before my period. I was waking up with cramps almost like a week before my period, so it could happen any day now. And then I'm out for 7 days, and then I was still glued to my hot pad several days after my period ended, and only a few days after my period ends, I am supposed to go in for my first endometriosis surgery, and so then I will be out for I don't know how long, potentially several weeks. September is my favorite month. Summer is ending. I just feel so sad that like it's just all gone. Like this, like I was ready to live it up this week and I'm just sick. I just don't feel good. All I want to do is sleep. I'm just not fully there. I am miserable in the heat because I just feel so hot. Even though I'm in this, you know, we gotta regulate the temperature, but like I gotta keep the heat low. Like I can't be out in the sun. It's just miserable. I just am feeling so sad. I also need to start preparing for my period because it's been kind of inconsistent this summer for some reason. One time it was 3 days late, and then the next time, which was last time, was 5 days early. So like I really gotta get on top of it and do all my period prep, which is always a lot, and then somehow figure out how to do surgery prep because it's could potentially be like a period but for much longer, which is terrifying. I guess I'm just feeling really sad, and I've been so sick. Every single time a sickness comes around, I always get it, and I get it so hard recently. And I keep a 2024 journal, so every Sunday at 1 p.m. I get a notification, just write a little something about my week, whether it's like a recap or just like one little excerpt, just something. And I was looking back at my last year's, which is when I started it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize how sick I was all the time. I didn't realize how much I really had gone through. And I kind of want, with this surgery and stuff coming up, I want to blog for my own sake, just the process and how it is. And I was thinking I was going to start with my period prep and then take it away from there, but I guess now is the time. I'm sick a week before my period. If it's even a week away, who knows? I am missing so much. There's so many things this weekend and the following weekend that I feel like I can't even plan because I don't know which weekend it's gonna really land on because it's been so inconsistent. There's Formula D this weekend. I haven't purchased tickets and I'm scared to. And then the next weekend I have a bridal shower and a wedding I have to miss, and with the wedding is so sad because I already missed the bridal shower because of my period, my last one. So I'm already feeling just really sad. And the Secret Lives of Normal Wives I really wanted to do with my sisters. I'm gonna cry about that one. Why is that one gonna make me cry? I really wanted to do like, my sisters have been talking about doing like a watch party and stuff, and now like I probably won't be able to, and that's just making me so sad. Like, it's one thing when it's something that is continuously happening, like, oh, I'm missing this vacation with my family, but it's like, this is so exciting. This is right in my realm. And my sisters don't always love the reality TV, especially like Housewives and such like that. And I feel like this is right up that alley, and they're interested. I'm so excited. This is like my thing, and I feel like it's one time, there's one premiere, And if I miss it, I miss it, and it is what it is, and I can't do anything about it, and that just like really sucks. And so I wish I was like feeling so excited about my surgery and like this could be the last period. And all summer I've been counting down to this period, being like, this is the last one, like I just got to get through this one. I'm almost there. And like I think I was probably until I got sick, and now I'm just like, you cannot plan for anything. You cannot expect anything, especially with help. Like, I'm just feeling messed up. On day 3 of my last period before my first endometriosis surgery. Feeling sad watching Secret Lives of Mormon Wives for the second time already, even though it just came out yesterday. This has been a very disappointing period. Day 1 was Thursday, so I had to miss Girls' Night. Friday, premiere of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, so I didn't go and watch it with her sisters or anybody. Saturday, this is today. It is my cousin's bridal shower, as well as Brigham City Peach Days, which I've always wanted to go to, never had. My boyfriend is there right now without me. Quite sad about it. And tomorrow is a friend's wedding. But I will say, at least this period hasn't been quite as bad. I did not miss work. I'm glad it's not been too bad because, you know, technically my period doesn't end until Wednesday, so then I would only have a couple of days before my surgery. But because it hasn't been too bad, I think I will be a little bit more functioning and able to plan out things by like Monday, you know, like maybe doing a grocery pickup, or at the very least making lists and plans of what I need to get, because I just got some information about the surgery I need to do the day before. I couldn't think of what it's called, an all liquid diet, and then I need to do 2 enemas. Terrifying. And then I never been through surgery, so I didn't even know about this, but I'm gonna be eating soft foods after, and so I'm scared about those. I don't really know what I'm gonna eat because I can't really have dairy or fatty foods, so I feel like that does take out a lot of things, like for the... My cramps just picked up, so I'm gonna finish this video later. It's the next day. I'm finally feeling a bit better. I was able to wash my hair and shower and just do any activities sitting down, like curling my hair, or I was getting lists and things ready for my surgery. I put together a little folder. Actually, it's huge. Doesn't need to be, but this little folder of information for when people are taking care of me. In my period tracker, I have a list of my symptoms, and this period really wasn't bad. I did not have that many symptoms. I had acne, and I always had like a very productive day initially, which I did have, but then it went away the day before, so I was like, am I not gonna start? It was really weird. The bloating was minimal. It wasn't like super painful like it normally is. I did have a bit of sweet cravings. I was really craving like a fizz or swig drink this time around, which is weird. I've never had that before. It's typically like always donuts. Oh, also this was like the day of my period. The day before, no, 2 days before, when I thought I was like about to start, I had some major salty cravings. And then I ate something I shouldn't have. Made me really sick. And that's kind of why I believe maybe my period was delayed a day, because my body was like going through it. Eyesight, I definitely noticed. Flow, not bad. And then on this end, I had, you know, of course, swollen in my face and stuff. It wasn't terrible this time. And some tenderness. Overall, not a terrible period. I did make it to work. 2 days, my first 2 days of my period, which... not super typical for me. Of course, my brain was like shut off and not working the whole time, but I made it there, and I put effort in. Now my brain is completely switched from period to surgery. I am totally getting ready. I'm in the mode. I'm making lists on lists. And that is where my folder comes in. So I just got a bunch of information from my doctor about the prep. I need to be on a clear liquid diet the day before and do 2 enemas. And then they just gave me a bunch of information. I've never really had like a surgery like this before, so I didn't know you had to be on like soft foods and stuff. So I had made a list because I'm on kind of like a specific diet because I have some issues. So I had written out kind of like my go-to meals and meal preps and things that I could put in the freezer and such, and I went grocery shopping and started to really prepare, but I pretty much scrapped that list, so that's in the back once I can start eating regularly. And I had to go and make a new list today of soft foods, so I made, a better list. Started making a grocery shopping list, and then just coming up with activities that I can do. I'm going to figure out something I can embroider, something I can crochet. I picked out a new book that I'm excited. I can't think of what else, but I'm just really starting to get prepared and get in the mode. I don't even think the video is showing. Like, this is a massive binder, but it was the only one I could find. So that's what they get. I mean, it's not going to affect anything, right? It's just annoying. The book, I've never read the series. I have always wanted to. I was not allowed. And then I didn't really think about it. And now that it's like fall vibes, Halloween-y, I'm like, okay, I'm going to start it. It's obviously destroyed, but I'm excited. If you can't tell already, I am such a planner. So my embroidery and crochet projects are, in fact, gifts that I'm making for people's birthday for the rest of the year, and I've already planned pretty much what I'm going to do, or at least narrowed it down to a few ideas for each person for Christmas, all of the birthdays left for the year. I'm just really trying to be on top of it because I feel like September just started, but I'm gonna blink and I'm still gonna be stuck in bed, and it's October, and I have several birthdays, including my boyfriend's in October. And I mean, unless you're like Amazon, like doing prime shipping type stuff, you kind of need to plan a little bit ahead. Other birthdays I still have like November, December, but I'm trying to be on top of it. Sounds a little bit excessive when I say it out loud, but in my head I'm like, no, I have to get this done now. Another thing I didn't consider, my parents felt like I should go sleep in a guest bedroom next to theirs so that I can have help. So now I'm considering kind of moving into that room for just that, time. Then I won't be needing, I don't know, if I'm stuck, like I can't get up, which I've heard can be a thing, in the middle of the night to pee or whatever, I guess I could have help, even though I don't foresee myself actually asking for help. I'm not good at that. I'll see. But if that's the case, I think I'll probably take my nightstand and put it in that bedroom so that I can have, my regular meds and stuff at arm's length. Clothes and such wouldn't be such a big deal because I only have so many, like, period clothes, good clothes for cramping and stuff. So it'd be easy just to get a little container and have it up there. I didn't know I needed to do an enema. I'm terrified I have to do 2. And my mom is actually suggesting that I do an additional one, like ASAP, so I can get like used to it and I won't be super anxious doing that the night before surgery. Like, I don't need added anxiety, which I agree with. So I'm terrified, and I may need to give my thoughts on here so I remember if it was actually this terrible as I'm thinking, or if it's not that bad. Enema may be my next update, or taking off these claws. End of vlog number 3, about to have my surgery in like 5 days, less than, I don't know. But I have to do 2 enemas before my surgery, and my mom knows I'm a stress ball and she doesn't want me to deal with that the night before for the first time. So it's a few days before and I'm going to try one. She has a coffee enema, so I'm going to do that, even though on the time I actually just need this like fleet saline, I think it is, enema. So this is me before my first enema. I am so glad I did this now, because I'm shaken up just because the anxiety before, like everybody was saying it was going to be something crazy. It was not. It was fine. It was no big deal. I did like 10 minutes and I stopped just because I was like stressed. Like, I don't know how bad this is going to be. No, I could have gone longer. It was literally fine. And maybe the one they're telling me won't be as easy. I don't know, but it was so fine. I'm not scared. I do it again. No problem. It's the night before. It's time to do the second enema. Let's hope I don't eat my words from last time saying it was so easy. I'm scared again a little bit. I just finished my second one. Honestly, not bad at all. It is way faster than the coffee one that I did, and maybe that's because I've been kind of preparing for it, and so maybe that's why. But also on the box it only says 1 to 5 minutes, whereas talking to my mom about the coffee one, she was like, oh yeah, like 20 minutes, and I for sure felt like I could have done like 20 minutes or something. So anyways, yeah, not bad. I'm glad it doesn't take that long, because I have to do this in the morning and my surgery time is 5:45 and the hospital is an hour drive away. So very early morning. Glad I don't have to like stress about this taking too long. So yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm also glad I got to experience this. Now I don't have to be like scared of enemas if I ever need it for whatever reason. I'm down. I got it. Basically, a day left until my first endometriosis surgery. I am honestly pretty calm. I have very few things left to do, like take off my nails so that they can monitor whatever, my pulse. I don't know what that is, but I realized the last 2 times I went to the hospital, I just so happened to have nails broken both times, thank God, and they were able just to do it, but my nails typically can't get the thing off. Whoops. So I'm gonna have to take these off. I'm gonna have to wash my hair, probably do like a crimp or something, like a lasting hairstyle, so I don't have to worry about washing my hair for a while. But the fact that I'm so focused on little things like that, like I'm just chill. Like I'm not too worried about it. Probably because like I'm about to ovulate, so I'm just like, yeah, everything's fine, chill, no worries, I don't care. That's good energy going in though. I really have no idea what to expect. I keep going back and forth whether it's going to be like worse than I thought or better than I thought. I have no idea what to expect, but I'm excited. I'm ready. I think that this is going to be amazing. Hopefully life-changing, literally. I guess these are my kind of final thoughts. Next time I'm on here, hopefully I'm coming with more of how the surgery went. I want to document, because I think just like as time passes, you just completely forget the experience and how it actually was. So yeah. Also, last time getting all dressed up, we went to like a celebratory dinner, like my last dinner, before, because I'm gonna have to be on a clear liquid diet tomorrow, and then soft food diet for the second, and then I won't be like going out to eat. So it's kind of just like a last hurrah, and it was so fun. Went to our fave Nepalese and got this amazing spicy dish that I just get every single time. I don't even know what it is. It's so good though. It's like chicken and spaghetti noodles. My God, it's good. I have obviously one more full day before the surgery, but I feel like tonight kind of wraps it up for me. So I think this will be my closing little video before my surgery vlogs. Hopefully I can be feeling good enough to document even just a little bit before I forget the situation, how it all played out. But wish me luck. In hopes that all of my health issues will be a distant memory someday soon, I'm going to go through all the things that I'm going through right now, so I can look back at this video one day and be like, oh my gosh, I really have come so far. Starting off with my top of mind issue right now is my eating situation. So I don't really know what's going on. I definitely had an ulcer, and then things just were not looking up. I would kind of test here and there with some oil, and it was still really bothering me. So I finally went into the doctor after like 8 months or 9 months or something, and I had an upper endoscopy. They found nothing but a very inflamed stomach, and then I went in for, an appointment after my surgery, and it wasn't the same doctor, so I ended up canceling last minute, thinking they made a mistake and tried to get in with my doctor, and he couldn't get me in. I don't know what happened. So I stopped that for a second and tried to just reanalyze, and I realized that all of the foods with an ulcer, I could eat majority of them, just not oil or dairy, and specifically the doctors suggested, like, no matter what it is, just get off dairy because it's probably gonna help, which I already was doing. So it has been over a year that I have been off dairy and oil, which is kind of hard. I mean, it's even like I can have only small amounts of like nuts because those can be too oily. Fish is too oily. Any meats with like a bone or something. I used to be able to have a rump roast, but randomly in the store they just started looking a lot more like marbly with like fat, and I was hesitant, but I did try it again, and no, I definitely cannot have that anymore. I don't know what happened. For several months the rump roast looked great, and then they just started looking very fatty, so I had to stop eating that. So I can only have like lean ground beef and a chicken breast. Oh, but randomly deli meat. You would think, like, I did not think I'd be able to have ham, but I do great with it. So I do have, like, I'll get a ham, or I'll do ham sandwiches, or even a roast beef sandwich. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. I feel like that would be like a big no, but I can have it. What happens when I do have something I shouldn't have? My first symptom lately is a really terrible headache. I just feel awful. Then my stomach hurts, whether it's like cramping or just random pain, heartburn. I just basically have to lay down, fall asleep with sometimes my arms above my head, sometimes propped up a bit, and just sleep it off. And sometimes even the several days after, I'll be like bloated and not be able to wear tight clothes. Well, I can't ever really wear that tight of clothes, but sometimes like I won't be able to wear anything that even is remotely like, I don't know how to explain. Like, it has to be basically pretty loose on my stomach, because the second my stomach will feel any sort of like tightness, even just pants that fit, pretty good, I will just start to bloat. So I have a lot of loose clothes that I wear. There's like, I have in my closet probably more I can't wear and I haven't worn in a very long time, because this has been going on for over a year. I'm also really hoping that like my blood sugar issue is due to the inflammation, and that can someday go back to normal too. I don't get very low numbers as far as blood sugar. I haven't tested that many times, but anytime I have, it hasn't been very low. But I'm like super symptomatic. I've gotten better, so I'm not really passing out too much anymore. But I do often get like lightheaded and dizzy and bloated immediately, and just feel like very nauseous, and like my throat will kind of just lump up. I don't know. A lot of different things can go with blood sugar, but I'm really, really hoping that if I can handle the inflammation after the surgery and get that down, that I can get on a better track with my blood sugar. I was having to eat, I did keto for a while, and then I slowly introduced certain things, and then, I don't know, keto was really working for me, to be honest, and it wasn't bad, like I liked it. But then with like the whole no dairy, no fats and stuff, there's so many foods on keto that it just cuts out, and I just couldn't do it. So I introduced carbs back in sometime in the spring, and I did it slowly, and I did okay with it. And I do feel like when I'm messing up with like the fatty thing, I can't handle my carbs as well. The better I'm doing in that direction, the better I can handle my carbs. So I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe it really is this inflammation thing, and that's kind of helping. In the main event, my periods. So I was going to get tested for SIBO for this whole oil dairy situation. I've heard that it can kind of be rough, and you may need to do several rounds of antibiotics to get rid of it. And so I was trying to figure out how do I find a new doctor to do that. And then my period got really bad, and I ended up going to the ER, which I don't know. Largely what made me go to the ER that time is because when I had gone to the OB the last time, she really didn't take me serious, as they never do. This is a new one. And she was like, if it's really that bad, you need to be going to the ER. And I was like, I'd never even considered that. I really didn't grow up going to the doctor, so I don't know. I don't really know when to make the call, when to go in. Anyways, so that kind of was going on in my mind. That was like a year prior though, and I had plenty terrible periods, but this time my mental health was really what made me go in. I just couldn't take it, because I do believe that I probably have like PMDD or something. Unwell. So I finally went in, and then that was kind of a little bit of a call for help. And so my mom found an endo doctor. She had heard of this specialist, and she got me in very quickly, honestly. I was really shocked. So now we've just been waiting several months for the surgery. And since then, my period has just randomly gotten really bad. And it's not just my period, so I will get off my period. This one time I started cramping with ovulation, which I know a lot of people get. I hadn't really gotten that. So I got cramps with ovulation, and it was several days. And then I basically had a day or two off, and then I started cramping a week before my period, which sometimes happens. And then I had my period, and usually the cramps are only really bad for 4 days, and then I can get off all medication, and I have a little bit of cramping, but it's really not that bad. And by day 7, it's distant memory. However, what's been happening this summer is even after the 7-day period, I would still be having cramps. So I would really only be having a few days off of cramps. And they weren't all miserable. My 4 or 5 days would be miserable, but just constant cramping, and often enough to be needing a hot pad. So this hot summer has been even hotter for me, kind of miserable. So I'm just very glad that this is finally happening. He said that the first 2 periods can be pretty bad, so kind of scared. Hopefully it's not worse than it normally is. And then I'm just looking up. I just hope. I'm just kind of thinking maybe after the holidays, maybe the new year. Maybe the new year I'll start to feel good. So yeah, wish me luck. This is what's going on. And we'll see what happens. Maybe a year I'll do an update, see how I'm actually feeling then. Clear liquid diet. How the hell? I am almost done for the day. It's so hard. So hard. I I don't know what I expected, but not this. I am so hungry. I feel like death. 2 full glasses of Diet Cran, 2 bowls of broth, caffeinated sparkling water, fruit popsicle, Jello, prune juice. And I'm so hungry. That freaking chicken broth, vegetable broth, I did both, did nothing. Did nothing. I was really counting on that to carry nothing. I hope I never have to do this again. It's officially been a month since my endometriosis surgery today, and I feel pretty good. I still have these bandages on. I'm pretty sure I can rip them off, but they said not to because then it'll rip the stitches out and the stitches need to dissolve. Well, these 2 have come off and the stitches were nowhere to be seen. So I'm sure I can just take these out, but this particular one is the most painful. I don't want to touch it. I want nothing to do. I'm letting them fall off on their own. One was like basically off, and so like I very slowly just kind of, because it was like literally hanging on by a thread. And this one, I just like was in the shower and I was like, what the heck, where did it go? And I haven't been able to find it. I don't know. I don't know what happened. But these 2, hanging on. Actually, hanging on pretty good. This one especially. It just barely started to kind of peel up today. This one's, it's pretty close. Those 2, but these sides are on really tight, so I'm not messing with it yet. Close up of my stitches. That one looks pretty good. I had a band-aid on and it's ripped the skin. This one, still a bit bruised. Doesn't look quite as good, but pretty decent. This, like I can tell underneath my belly button's quite bruised and it hurts pretty bad, so. I genuinely wanted to be like filming the process and like talking about how I felt throughout all of it, so I could remember, but like mentally I just like couldn't do it. I mean, it was way worse than I thought. Like I was in so much pain and so exhausted. I was not prepared for how terrible it was truly going to be. And then even just after that, since then, I'm just like exhausted mentally and just sitting around not being able to do anything, being completely helpless, and everybody's just out living their lives and going to work and stuff, and I just had nothing to do. Like, I don't know, like I'm not, like mentally I'm really trying to come back, but we're still not there, but we're trying. So I am getting around to it a bit now. I had to take some notes to like try to remember some things, and I took like liberty of making my period tracker and like the way I track my symptoms normally, just like doing the same thing but with this, so that like I can kind of look back and I can kind of track and stuff. I really tracked like the bleeding and everything, which I did not know I was gonna be bleeding at all. I was told it was like going to be like a bad period or something like that. And cramping wasn't like a thing really though. It wasn't like that at all. But what, I've never been cut open or had stitches or anything. I didn't know that being cut open with a knife would feel like you're being cut open with a knife. I don't know how I didn't piece that together. I didn't know. This stuff hurts. It still hurts. I still can't put pressure on it. I still like can't stretch a ton. There's so many things, like I just genuinely did not know. I feel like I do want to do a little bit more detailed videos as far as like, this is right before the surgery how I felt, this was like right after surgery, this is the next 2 weeks recovery, and then since then. So I think I'll break those up. This is the initial, hi, I'm back, I'm pretty well, and surgery was successful. I have endometriosis. It was tested and it's official. I don't know. We're done. We're here. We're just trying to let these heal, and hopefully I'll be good someday soon. Where did I leave you off? So I think I was doing the clear liquid diet the day before my surgery, and that's where I kind of stopped my vlogs. So it was pretty hard, and I did try to go to bed at like 8 or something, because I had surgery bright and early in the next morning. I think I had to wake up at 4. I think surgery was at 7:30. I had to be to the hospital 5:30 something. I don't know. And the hospital was like an hour drive. So I don't know, something along those lines. Or I have to be at the hospital at like 6 or something. I don't know. But I had to wake up at like 4. I had to wake up, do an enema, just kind of get dressed and go because I wasn't eating or anything. I'd already showered late the night before. So there really wasn't, or maybe I did shower in the morning. Anyways, it wasn't really much for me to do besides like brush my teeth. So, I don't know. I was still really stressed. I dreamt all night of cookies. And at like 2 a.m., after like tossing and turning, my boyfriend was staying the night and I cuddled him. And I just didn't really sleep. And he just kind of held me. And then, yeah, I honestly didn't wake up early enough to do the whole enema thing. I was running out the door. But then we were there. We were going. I was nauseous. I was nervous. But we got to the hospital and they pretty much swept us right away. And I was into my room and in my gown and they were putting like compression stuff on my legs and they talked to me. And I was just like a stress ball until like my doctor walked in and was like, hey, I'm here. And then I was like, calm. I don't know, just like seeing the familiar, even though I've literally only met my doctor one other time. That's it, just one appointment. And I was just like zen. Like I was good. And then the last thing I remember, the anesthesiologist came in and he was like, okay, we're gonna go to your room. And they just remember being pushed my bed through the doorway of like the room we were leaving. Blacked out. I don't know. And I don't remember anything else. I don't remember like where we went down the hall, what room. Like I don't remember anything. I don't remember saying goodbye to my boyfriend, my mom. I don't know. I was just like such a stress ball. And then I woke up and I was very unwell. They could not wake me up. They had like, my boyfriend and mom were sitting in like the my next room for a while waiting for me because they had brought them in and my doctor talked to them and everything and they recorded all the things. I left my boyfriend with a list of questions and my doctor called me thorough with my questions and that I know what I'm talking about. Flex. I felt pretty proud. But yeah, they were like waiting there for a while because I just couldn't wake up. I was just like in and out, like just like, what is that? Not hallucinating. Another H word. I don't know. Anyways, they were like, just tried to start feeding me things like this lemonade slushy and applesauce and water and all the things. And then I like slowly was kind of coming in. I was just like, I need to pee. They're like, no, you don't need to pee. Like they were filling your bladder up and releasing it several times. Like check everything out. Like you're just going to have the urge to pee. I was like, no, I need to pee. I made the nurse and my mom come take me to pee. And like I just like sat there forever trying, which I did end up peeing. So, and then we left the hospital. We had to go pick up my prescription and drive like an hour home. And the prescription took like an hour to pick up. It was so obnoxious. And I just started getting so sick and then I had to pee again. So I made them stop and I got up to pee. It made me so nauseous. It was insane. The amount of nausea I felt, like, I don't know, he gave me a medication for that, but we didn't realize we had it because they were supposed to give us 3 medications. They only ended up giving us 2, like the pharmacy. I guess one was over the counter that my mom accidentally didn't get, and we thought we missed the nausea medication, but it was actually stool softeners, but I had already had some, so it was fine. So I went like a day or 2 without any nausea medication. Oh my gosh, it was miserable. But basically, we got home. I was tired, but I was just hungry. Like chicken noodle soup, watched movies, my boyfriend and my mom. Honestly, felt pretty good, and I had like high hopes and everything. And then, like, it started getting pretty late, and I was like, okay, like my boyfriend's ready to go. I'm ready to go to bed. Let's just test it out, make sure that like I'm comfortable. My mom can put me to bed and everything. Oh my gosh, it went downhill from there. I don't know what switched, but all of a sudden, the gas pains in my ribs, I couldn't lay down. I could not lay back, like hardly at all. Like it was insane. I literally just had to have somebody behind me, like sitting, like straddling me, and I would just like lean on them like that much. That's about all I could do. And then they would push me up, and then help me to get fully up. But like I literally could not lay down. We tried so many times. I was like crying. I was like panicking. I'm like hurry, somebody pick me up. My boyfriend would just have to like swoop me up and like pick me up. It was insane. It was so much pain. I had no idea. I was aware that like the gas, like the shoulder tip pain would be an issue, and I was like prepared for that. I had the hot pads and stuff constantly on my shoulders. I did not know it could get like that. Like I just could not breathe. It was terrible. So my boyfriend ended up having to go steal his parents' recliner, and I slept like sitting up. Like my feet were so swollen in the morning for like a week. It was terrible, but you know, I just try to make sure to walk, and my boyfriend massaged my feet for a long time and everything. But it was insane. I was not expecting that. I had no idea it could get like that. So for the first while after surgery, that was really what was bad about it. Of course, I was really tired, but I would pretty much get up, walk a little bit, eat something, take my medicine, go to bed. And that's just like what I would do constantly. For like days, it felt like I couldn't like shower on my own or get dressed on my own. I couldn't lean down at all, like bend over to get my pants up or like anything. It was hard. It sucked. It sucked. I had taken 2 weeks off of work, and by the end of the first week, I was like, how am I ever going to like, how is this gonna recover? And it was like a vast improvement towards the end of the week. But like I was still so non-functioning. I just didn't even see how I would make it. And even, you know, going into the second week of recovery, I still was just like, how is this gonna work? I really spent all my days reading Twilight series. I had never read it before. And then my sisters got me a book. I read that. I crocheted. But even crocheting, that was kind of a lot. And I did a little craft too, because it was our my boyfriend's anniversary over this time period, and he came and got me. I think it was a week and a half after surgery. He came and got me, went to a picnic, and I had made him like a craft, and it was just a lot. Like everything hurt. I was so tired after. It made me like start bleeding again. Like it was just really rough, and at this point I was only a few days away from going back to work, and I was really stressed. I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. And then even going back to work, I mean, I was just like, okay, I'm gonna be in comfy clothes, I'm gonna sit in my chair, put my feet up, and I'm not moving. And that's what I did, and that's the only way I was able to get through going back to work. I did not move or clean or anything for like a week or more. It was rough going back. Driving is probably the worst part. I mean, like having to look around your shoulder, that's like moving your torso, and just so painful. And then I just like have to like hold on to something to like pull myself up out of my seat. And yeah, it was so much worse than I thought. Now that I know what surgery's like, I'm like, okay, yeah, like it wasn't that bad, it was fine. But being completely unaware of what surgery was like, I did not expect it to be that bad. I've run out of time, but I also need to do a first period update because that is something I really didn't expect. About to start my second period since my endometriosis surgery. So let's talk about my first period post and what I'm hoping for this period. Also give a little scar update. Here's the girls. That one looks pretty good. This one is the last bandage to come off. It does not look quite as good as the others, and it's been the most irritated. Belly button feels great, looks great, and this beauty, of course, amazing. I'm putting on a castor oil pack because supposedly it's supposed to help with the scarring. I also used to do it consistently for my cramps. And I don't know, felt like it would help some. Oh my gosh, it's cold. I used to be so good about wearing these packs consistently to help with my cramps, but I don't know, I'm just out of the habit, and I wanted to for the scarring and for this period, and I don't know, I just forgot. And now that the period's like here, I'm like, oh, I need to get on that. Also, I put so much, this is like soaked, I don't, oh, the counter soaked, it's water. That's why, okay, I'm like, I've never had it look so wet before. We're good. Super cute. Fit check. So my first period, the doctor said that the first 2 periods actually, they could be pretty bad. And I did not have that experience. After my surgery, my first period started about 2.5 weeks post-op, and it was really good. I was really confused. I didn't know if it was actually my period. Typically, my period is like, I have a single drop of blood, and all of a sudden I have like a few minutes before the worst cramps ever. And I have to get everything ready, and like I'm screwed. But it was not like that at all. I'm usually super good about tracking my period and how it all went, but because I wasn't even sure if it was my period, I didn't track it that good. So this is based off of memory and also talking with my mom yesterday. She just like reminded me. I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot about that. It was such a slow process. Like, it was kind of like spotty, and cramps were so gradual. It was over probably like 3 days, and I think on the 3rd day is when I finally accepted, like, okay, yeah, this is a period, because I really hadn't been bleeding. I had just stopped bleeding from my surgery, and here and there I guess I would get a little bit of spotting, but this was like pretty continuously. I'm out of breath, getting stronger. I'm also sick. I guess this needs to be a seated conversation. It definitely did get bad enough that I was needing to alternate Tylenol and ibuprofen every 3 hours, plus have a hot pad on me at all times. And I did kind of try to take ibuprofen out a couple times, and that was a mistake. I definitely probably could have, I think, no, I can't even remember. I had like one really good cramp day, I think, and then by the 2nd day I maybe was able to take away Tylenol. Definitely not ibuprofen because it is a little bit stronger, but overall it was pretty good. Another reason I didn't know that it was my period for sure is because I didn't have all my regular symptoms beforehand. Typically I go through self-loathing. No, I definitely do, but what really threw me off was I didn't have like nesting. Like when you're pregnant, it's like I get this strong urge to get everything together. Like, I'm so clean and organized, and I get all my food. Like, I'm so good about just like getting my life on track. Like, the day or 2 days before, I did not have that. I was not prepared. I did not feel the urge to get prepared, and I didn't really this time either. I did force myself today, but it wasn't like a strong urge like it normally is. Like, I just like can't even help it. Today was like, if I sat down for 5 seconds, I knew I wouldn't get anything done, whereas normally it would be like, if I sit down, I am antsy because I just want to get up and get everything done. But I did not experience that last time or this time around, which is disappointing. I really rely on that time to get everything done. But yeah, I also typically, so I'm incredibly hungry, cannot eat enough, literally until I'm started. And sometimes even like an hour or 2 after, I will still have like intense cravings and everything. And then I'm dealing with nausea and sensitive to smells and foods and all the things. But I actually got that beforehand. So I was like repulsed by food and stuff all before I started my period. I think even a day or 2 before I dealt with that. And that was really weird. I don't know, just like all my symptoms are kind of mixed up. And it's just, how am I supposed to know when I'm going to start? But I guess I don't need to be that urgent to know if it's such a gradual thing anyways. I don't know, it's confusing. I'm so grateful that that first period wasn't that bad because I was terrified. So I'm hoping that this period is the same. It's like a gradual thing. But at the same time, I'm like, would kind of like to get it over with. I don't know. I hope it's like gradual, one day really bad, and then we can just move past it. I really want to try to minimize ibuprofen as much as possible. I didn't take any baths last time, which typically I live in the bathtub, but I was largely avoiding it. I could have used it and it would have helped, but I was terrified about my stitches. Now I've gotten used to them. And like I would definitely soak in a bath over like taking ibuprofen if possible. So we'll see how it goes. I am going to be on my period probably all week, and so I'll be at work, so I probably won't be able to avoid medicine as much as I'd like to, whereas like on the weekends I can be in the bath and in my bed and as relaxed as possible. But you know, I'm gonna do what I can. The reason that I specifically want to get away from ibuprofen is, well, since you know we're all here, if you've gotten this far, you don't believe in TMI, right? You're curious about the journey. I was having some like bloody stool, so I called my doctor, and he's like, yeah, I don't think it's related to endometriosis. Make sure to get into the GI ASAP. So I went to my GI, and I was actually only able to get into his PA, but I have history with this doctor. So he's like, yeah, you must just have hemorrhoids. I'm like, well, I don't know. I don't remember any straining or anything. Like I don't know about that. So whatever, now I'm shoving these bullets. Lovely. But another thing I've talked to him about, and we still he doesn't think it's any relation, we'll see, but I have major stomach issues. My stomach's inflamed. We've done so many tests, can't figure it out. But basically he just told me what they've concluded at this point is it's probably just from ibuprofen, taking it so much with my period, and until I can continuously like stay away from it for a while, my stomach issues are never gonna get better. And I feel like shit. So I would love to get away from that as soon as possible. Also, for the record, me getting sick right now, I don't believe is coincidence. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I get sick on or around my period so frequently. I do not think that it is a coincidence. It's always an intense head cold. It always starts with a sore throat. Sometimes I am contagious, sometimes not. Or maybe I'm just better at it than sometimes than others, but it's another symptom to know and see if it goes away. Hopefully I'll look back on this video as always and it will be a distant memory.